Beltalowda, welcoming good coping me. Hello, Belters, and welcome, friends, to Expanse Productions, the Expanse Crew, a podcast for discussing Amazon Prime's fantastic series, The Expanse. I'm your host, Dr. Scott Jordan, aka Zombie Scotty, cognitive psychologist, philosopher at Illinois State University. Beltalowda, please introduce yourselves and say a little something about who you are, and we will start with Sistah Jay.
I'm Sistah Jay. The J is for Jennifer. I am a co-founder of the Sistah Speak Productions entertainment podcast. We do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm also a retired lawyer and a published author of crime fiction.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
That's it? Okay. How about you, Leandra?
I'm Leandra Parris. I am the program coordinator of school psychology at William and Mary out in Virginia, and I specialize in educational equity and trauma.
That's fantastic. And how about you, Sistah Kay?
I am Sistah Kay. The K is for Kelsey, and I am the other co-creator, producer, whatever, podcaster of the Sistah Speak Productions podcast, entertainment podcast. And I'm excited to be here.
Oh, fantastic. Look forward to talking about this episode. And before we do, I want to share a little something that happened to me this weekend.
Uh-oh.
So as you can see,
I love it.
I love this.
these guys were the absolute best, man.
Oh my God.
I'm just going to say Steve and Wes. Okay. So they were herding us through like cattle, and
Oh yeah.
they
I'm
put me
sure.
in the booth, and I was like 2 or 3 people behind in the line. They saw me and they instantly pointed and said, Miller, and they got these big grins on their faces, you know.
Yes.
So I get in the booth. Can you see that there's a plexiglass shield
Yeah.
between us?
Yeah. A
So
little
that was
bit.
actually pretty brilliant because it's right on with the camera, so you can't see it much. But they were grinning ear to ear trying to say hi. And I said, look, I want you to put your hands on your head like you're trying to get me out. And I want you to look at us like, what are they doing? And they did it. And they did it that quickly and that cool. And
Oh wow.
when I left,
That
they kind
is
of raised the bar. It was just
amazing.
really, really cool. And
Woo!
you know,
How
you only get those.
scrumptious did they look? I mean, come on.
I
Oh,
know.
they look fantastic. They look great. And they look
fantastic.
so happy. You know, you always get concerned about people in those situations, kind of getting
Mhm.
cynical and
Yes.
kind of bored. And okay, this is just Scotty doing his Scotty thoughts about life thing, but I think they appreciated the work.
Yeah.
You know,
You
I
look
think
just
they
like
appreciate it.
Miller.
Yeah, I think they appreciate. Oh, look
Well,
at that
they
guy.
also-
That's cool.
You did. But they appreciate the show, you mean the work in the show?
Well, the work I did putting the costume together.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I'm
yes.
saying. And then
Yes.
once I
Yes.
was doing my part, they said, well, of course we'll do that crazy bit. And they did it. And it was just really cool. So thanks to them if they're watching the show, and I hope I can catch up with them and they can buy me that beer they owe me. Anyway.
If
You know
y'all
what?
watching,
Love it.
y'all look so good on the show.
Y'all look, oh man,
And
y'all
the
look
picture.
good. And Amos, you my fave, honey.
And it is
Yeah.
nice to see that they can actually smile.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
know, right? They hardly.
Yeah. But you know what? It's good to know that they appreciate their fans, because
Mm.
some
Yeah.
of them, after a while, they do get cynical and they're like,
Yeah,
arrogant a little.
they were
Mhm.
pretty great. So here's what we're going to do tonight. We're not going to go through the episode per se. I'm just going to ask you each favorite line, favorite character, whatever you come up with. And I'm sure that we'll cover the important parts of the episode by doing that. So I'm just going to open the floor. Whoever wants to go first, jump on in.
I can start because I don't have a favorite line,
Mhm.
but I have favorite looks and moments, and they were
All right.
mostly nonverbal.
Mm.
They were we had a lot of like just moments to just pause and just
Mm.
take in the fact that Alex was no longer part of the crew. And I love that, because to me, it was so, we didn't talk about this before, but it was so abrupt what happened in the last season and him dying. And we had a little bit of moments of them kind of, sitting in that grief,
Yeah.
but this really, to me, so we had the look when Amos was going out to do the walk to repair the camera, and he looked over at the plaque that they have with all the owners, and they had Naomi, obviously they're all looking kind of rough,
Yeah.
They're all feeling all of this, but then you can really see it when she was flying the ship.
She was
And
on
she
my
was-
last nerve.
Uh-oh.
Well, wait, Sister Jay, wait for your turn.
The scene you talking about too was on my last nerve. Anyway,
I love it.
But
Go ahead.
yeah, because she's salty. She don't need to be salty.
exactly.
You know.
But
I
that's
know,
that
I get it.
daggum guilt
Yeah, that's what that
trying
is.
to make everybody else feel miserable as she does.
Yeah.
Whew. Mm.
But I liked all those little moments where even when she was salty and she's overly concerned and protective now because they realize that one of them can die.
Yep.
So when Holden was down and he was in danger, she was just like over nervous and scared. And then that look she gave at when everything was over, she's just like, just come back in the ship. And then even later when he was trying to talk to her, she's like, she wasn't ready to let that go. And just all those little small, really nonverbal things is my favorite part of the show. Even with Avasarala, when her little guy, when that
That's
guy
about
was trying
5 or
to
6 scenes.
tell her, I told you I didn't have one.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
you need to be muted, Sister Jay. Mute. Nobody
Go ahead,
knows your
finish your
ass,
piece,
your
sister.
butt.
Finish your piece, Sister
Excuse
Kay.
me, Scotty.
It's all
But
good.
even
I can
all
hang.
of those little moments where he's talking and she's annoyed and he's trying to make it sound good, and Bobby's just sitting there really quiet, and she just raised her hand like, okay, you can go. Just all those little looks and small little pauses. That's my favorite part of this episode.
Yeah, we saw a
Okay,
lot.
Jay, I'm done.
We saw a lot of good effects, right? You see in
Yes.
people the effects of what happened at the end of the season. I got to tell you, this is not an emotional effect, but it was just a brilliant special effect when Holden puts the device inside the computer, and that wrench starts pinging off the reactor, and you can sense its frequency increasing. Usually they just do that with a sound, right? But just to make it a little more visceral for us, I'd never seen that used as a special effect, and I just thought that was fantastic.
That was really good though, wasn't it? Because you really got the feeling, oh shit. And the faster it went, the closer it was to blowing up,
Yeah,
that was good. That was good.
And I think Naomi's like response in conjunction with that, like it really got me nervous. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was watching this episode in the car line picking up my kid, and I had to like stop because I was like, I'm getting a little like, I'm not paying attention. Like her being like, you gotta go. And then that wrench, I was like, this is too much. Like, I can't.
yeah, that's not going to help the
stressing
problem.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel it though. Like you can feel it. So I agree. I feel like that was a really good play off of Naomi's lines and what Holden is seeing happening.
Yeah, it's not like we've never been this deep in it before. So, keep it together. And so what's he do? He beats the crap out of it.
Exactly.
He just beats the crap out of it because, he's saying he knows he's not going to be able to get back to the ship, but there was also a little bit of rage and guilt and sorrow in everything everyone was doing. And everybody was kind of carrying that through the episode.
Even the moments with Amos with Peaches or Clarissa, and those looks that Naomi and her passed each other, and Amos realized it, and even his little pause before he said anything to Naomi, and when she told him, you need to get out of my face, you need to go somewhere else, and he just paused. He didn't like rise to the level that we know he can get to because he respects her. So all of those little moments, to me, I loved all of those.
Well, now that we're talking about that Naomi moment, right? Let's talk about it. Telling him to be somewhere else. I guess there could be guilt fueling that. I'm going to admit that I'm a little confused about her coming to those words to him, what seemed quick to me. Now, they said stuff like, is there something Peaches could be doing better? I mean, we've been flying together for months, so they established that it's months after the
I'm going
the
to tell you
finale.
what it is.
187
In my opinion, the whole problem is two things: her guilt and her envy. Number one, I hope, it is my hope Scott,
Go ahead.
that by maybe the second or third episode, I could not be still angry. But every time I see this chick, I'm thinking, why are you getting in anyone's face, Naomi? Why are you getting into anyone's face saying anything to anyone? It is because of you that he is dead. Yes, anyone can have a stroke, but they was coming to get you because you thought it was a good idea after 20 years abandonment to go and tell your son, oh, come with me because your daddy bad. I'm sorry, but no, I have no sympathy for her. And Amos, who's my favorite character.
No bias here.
Right. Amos is totally bonding with Peaches.
Oh, yeah.
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 So it's partly that.
Yeah.
It's partly that. And also because, and I think maybe subconsciously also because she has a relationship with Holden. Way before, she went and searching for her son and stuff. Holden was in love with Julie Mao.
No, it wasn't Holden. Miller.
Miller was in love with Julie Mao, but Holden had the only connection to Miller, and he was doing whatever Miller wanted done, even though she didn't want him to do it. You remember, she did not want him to go to that little, what is it, Ellis.
Right.
And so she decided, even though she couldn't stand the gravity weight and they have to like acclimate themselves and stuff, but she's the one that went down there with him. She could have stayed up there. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah. So I mean, this is her way. I mean, everybody's a bit, I'll just say, disorganized, a bit deconstructed, a bit unstable, I guess. And that's her.
She's taking it out on everyone else.
Yeah.
And her bitterness toward Clarissa, I think, has to do more with Amos than anything else.
Oh, absolutely. I think too, we talked last week about Amos is kind of who she nurtured after she left her son. And now she just left her son again. And Amos has got his own, he's on his own. He doesn't need her anymore.
Exactly.
His own,
he doesn't need her in the same way. I think he's still bonded to her, but not in the same way.
And he definitely, she's not his moral compass anymore. And I think that she's lost a lot of her role and responsibility. And I don't know that she knows where she fits in with all of that.
Yeah, that's very well said. I mean, she's driving the Rocinante.
But they have her looking so distraught and so almost borderline insane to me. I mean, she looks like she hadn't slept in 2-3 months.
I don't know about insane, but I feel like they all are looking rough. Like it wasn't just her, although she does look rough, but
she looked rough.
Holden also was looking kind of scraggly.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm digging the beard on Holden. I'm like, that's the first time I look at him and I'm like, oh, you are a man. You are.
So it's a sexy dragged out. I totally get that.
Let's face it. The men, they look rough, but they look rough in like the cover of a romance book kind of way. She looks rough and like
Amos don't look rough.
No.
Doesn't. You know who's doing? Go ahead. Sorry, no, you go. Ahead.
You can tell he still feels a certain kind of way though.
Okay.
He don't look rough physically, but
before we get deeper, let me tell you what my favorite, because I got a quote.
He's very sad. Yeah.
But even wait, real quick, Sistah Jay, I just remembered when they got done with that first firefight, that first battle that we saw them, the first scene we saw them all, and they were fighting that other ship and they killed it, whatever. And Amos was not his normal self. He was just like, well, I guess I'll go see if I need to go fix that camp. He just seemed like really melancholy and not like normally he would just go and do it and not have that little pause and like, okay, I guess I'll go do that next. And went on with his, but he was just not in it. And then that scene where he does pause and look at it, you could tell that's what's weighing on him, which I think is weighing on all of them.
Right. I got one quick question I got to jump in with. What do sci-fi TV shows have against pilots? Why is it the pilot that always dies, man? I mean, come on. They killed off Wash and Firefly, right?
What can we talk a moment about? I'm going to get to my Amos quote though, but can we talk a moment about Laconia? That's the very first scene with the little girl. Now, didn't you get the deja vu feeling of the Genesis effect from Search for Spock?
The idea that the planet had been terraformed.
Because this obviously the proto molecule planet because it's got those same little archy things.
I thought
But
that little girl was done
It wasn't
for.
until, but check this out. Wait a minute, but check this out. It wasn't until I put hush up. It wasn't until I had the words on and I paid attention toward the end when the blonde chick is talking to Marcos about they can't get all the supplies and stuff, and but you know, you don't owe these people on Ceres anything, and as they walked away from his son, she was saying to him something about, we need a different part because those Laconian parts, we need these supplies because those Laconian parts are proving more difficult than we thought. And I thought, oh, so that's why they started with the little planet thing. So they're getting some kind of something from that planet.
Well, I was definitely getting an alien vibe from that creature
great.
coming out of the woods, man. I thought that little girl was done for. It would have been completely consistent with the show.
It looked like a doggone big ass snake, though, to me.
No, it didn't.
It did. No,
it looked like a dinosaur puppy.
No, it was
what
purring,
like.
but it looked like a big ass snake with his little. The only thing it didn't do is have his little tongue sticking out.
Yeah.
And as it was looking at her, I was thinking it's gonna open a big ass mouth. Excuse me, a big mouth, and snatch her up. And I was like, "Girl, now look, you can't be talking to everything around this wood."
Thought of the Genesis effect from Star Trek. I thought, come on, y'all, did y'all rip that off?
Now that you say that, I can't unsee it. I cannot unsee
exactly.
It.
I mean, it's the same thing. Totally,
but we know
and especially as the drone pulls out, and you see all the vegetation and life and flowers and trees and stuff. I thought,
well, so your proposal is that the proto-molecule is terraforming this planet in a way to be hospitable for humans, so that it can cultivate them and eat them later.
And I had another question for you, and that is, okay, what it said was, let's see, I wrote that down too. What it said was ring number 673.
Yeah.
Planet 2. Okay, so I'm a little confused here. So, and when Holden talks about the ring, he always puts an S on it. Rings. So there's 673 rings.
In theory, yeah.
Yeah, so they went through.
So when they're going through, that's just one of them, or all the way through it is 673 to this Laconia. You see what I'm saying?
There's different. I was confused. So there's not that sphere, and then there's different rings all around it.
Okay, and so this Laconia is the second planet in ring 673. Good Lord, that's a lot of rings.
Well, the perspective we're always shown is we don't see those other rings when we're on our side of it. We go in, and then we see all those other rings inside, whatever that means. Yeah. 6 months though, I don't, there's a little bit in the timeline. I got to admit that I don't know how long it's been since people went through the ring for the first time, and when that Laconia scene happens. Is it years?
I don't know. Well, I don't know, but when Amos is sitting there in the scene that Sistah Kay mentioned about, he's saying, well, I guess I need to go up and repair this thing. It said on the screen, it said day 187. Yeah. So what that says is that they have been fighting with Marcos for 187 days.
More than 6 months.
Yeah, at the same time, that there's probably, like in season, I think it was season 4, we went through Endless and that whole big pyramid structure.
Yes. Yeah.
I suspect that those weren't the only people that had gone through a ring and gone to a planet, right?
I think you're right.
We're catching up with others, and we're just supposed to infer that they did. Let's go ahead, if we could, and go on to Leandra. Favorite line, favorite character, favorite scene.
Yeah, so one, I will say, I hope at some point tonight we talk about what's going on with Philip, because that is some craziness. That's my favorite part. So so the part that's my favorite isn't necessarily, one, it's beautiful and it has Christian in it. Y'all know how much I love.
Yeah.
I'm in love. But I think it's also, I felt like it was the show looking at the rest of the world and being like, we hear you, we feel you. Like,
I think you're absolutely right. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah. Like I felt so overstimulated. Nothing ever seems like it's slowing down.
No.
Like everything's being thrown at me at once. And so when she's sitting there floating and she says the lack of sensation is good, the whole planet not putting me down for once or pulling me down. I couldn't tell what
Pulling me down.
Pulling.
Yeah.
Pulling me down for what a beautiful way to describe gravity, but like just realizing like how much she's carried for all 6 seasons, to be honest. How she's been fighting this, how personal it is, especially for it to end on her after seeing how personal it was for her to see the crops destroyed. That whole thing was gorgeously shot. And then when they're talking about the spire and everything, and she says, and this is my favorite part, F good, we need better than good. We're wounded, we're broken, trying desperately to convince ourselves that we're not. Blah, blah, blah. Little wins are not enough to hold us together. We need something bigger than that. We need something to give us hope. And I, not gonna lie, cried because I was like, because she's saying it as you're seeing Holden and Amos and everyone trying to keep going after 187 days. And it honestly felt like the writers trying to talk to us and let us know that like it's coming, like we get that feeling, and you could just connect with that so much. And the way she delivers that is like, she's
the best actor, I think.
Yes,
the way she delivers her lines. I mean, and when she told that reporter, that's none of your fucking business, I said, Lord, yes, Christian, yes.
That's her character works that way.
I know. Absolutely. I love her. Did you notice she has a haircut?
Yeah,
she pulled her hair off.
Okay, I don't know why I didn't like that. I love her look.
Is it really cut
that
or
blue
is it
leather
just tucked
was
underneath?
amazing.
I know. She looked so tough in that leather. She did.
I like
her short hair though. I like the short hair on her.
Oh, I don't. I like it long and braided and gloriously out there.
I don't think it's really cut.
Probably not.
Just pulled back.
Yeah, it's probably
I don't know,
whatever.
No, I read that scene. I actually wrote that whole quote out because I think you're absolutely right. The writers took advantage of where we are, and then they put everybody in kind of getting ready to move mode, right, on the ship, as she's giving that speech. And when you get out of the gravity for a moment, however you do that, you just it's been a lot, man. It has just been a lot.
I love that she's the one who's like, oh, and I found us hope. Like, of course she is. Of course.
I like the way that ended too. When she's looking at Bobby and Bobby says, oh, you got something in mind? She said, of course I do.
No. You got to do that scene right. She goes, you have something in mind? She goes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do.
How Janeway was that of her?
She is good.
That was so Janeway. It was so
good.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about drummer. You mentioned Christian being the best actress on this. If you're gonna look at someone act grief the way I feel it, it's drummer. Just the wrenching decisions she has to make to decide to leave that woman on a safe place
what was her name?
Michio
or something.
And the conversation she has with her, I'm assuming her commander her lieutenant, who also seems to be her lover to some extent.
One of her husbands.
Just
one of her husbands.
Really good authentic emotion and really good grieving. And she doesn't hide it, because she can't, but she still makes her decisions through it. And I just love watching that character. Yeah,
I do too. I like her a lot.
Yeah,
I was thinking though, obviously Michio had been doing things like that before.
Yeah, because he said this is the first time.
Thinking, okay, drummer, you've been letting it go, and now it's not really Michio's fault at this point. It's drummers for letting her continue to be on the in the command center working on all the controls if she's been shaky and not sleeping.
Right.
And actually I went back to watch season 5 finale before rewatching, and she was the one who helped save drummer from that other Marcos's lieutenant. So she was shaky from then. Doing that.
She's the one that conked her in the head.
She conked her in the head and killed her.
That's true.
So I was thinking,
she conked her in the head, but what killed her was when she hit her head going down. Yeah.
But what I was thinking is, okay, so instead of just dropping her at some random place, why don't you just say, look, we're gonna go find our other husbands and wives, and we'll let you go with them. But she said, I'm just gonna drop you at some random.
But she can't go find the others. If you notice, the others went to join Marco.
Did they join Marco? Or
Yeah,
did
they went to join that whole Free Navy because they didn't want to be they didn't want to be hunted, because Marco and and the Free Navy, they are hunting Drummer.
Yeah,
they are.
Because that ship they blew up was a bounty ship.
No.
Yeah.
See, so no, they went and joined Marco, and they probably, you know, had some kind of punish. Who knows? I don't know. But they went. That woman said she was not going to sacrifice herself for that, and she was going back.
I think you have a good point though, Sister Kay. Like, why couldn't they just like give her like a behind the scenes job? Like,
thank you, or let her go in the kitchen and be the cook. Why do you have to drop her off?
Yes. And you know what's going to happen is Marcos is going to find her. He's going to torture her, and that's going to be your weak link. Like, keep her there.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen. Oh, you just predicted the stuff.
There you go.
Well, the other ones also left because Drummer shot the ship that was going to shoot the Rocinante that had their other husband on it. Right. They had done that swap. So they were all mad that he died, but I'm like, what was she going to do? I mean, so yeah, I'm like, why do you have to drop her off? Just take her off the command.
Take her off the payroll and put her in the mess.
Let her be the person that guides everybody around or whatever. She was all crying and stuff. I was like, oh Lord.
I tell you what, this is not a dramatic line, but it is my favorite line of the episode. And that's when Marco is giving orders or whatever, asking for a report from the blonde lieutenant. And and he says something like, oh, you're trying to tell me that we haven't found Drummer yet? And she goes, do you want me to tell you every time something doesn't happen?
I love that.
I'm gonna memorize that line, man, because that is the bomb.
But you notice he didn't
say that.
He didn't argue back either.
No, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't.
Increase the bounty, you know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say there are some real kick-ass women in this show.
Oh yeah,
I'm not like a fan of her, like whatever. Like that was good.
That was good. That was a good line.
Yeah, I watched it 2 or 3 times. You just got to get those words right, because like I said, memorize that and put it out at the right time.
Yes.
So you wanted to talk about Philip. Let's go ahead and talk about Philip.
He needs his butt whooped.
He's a mess.
He's a mess.
He just killed his best friend.
Yeah, he's a mess.
Well, you know what? This is foreshadowing from Naomi, because she told him back before she went out on the other ship. Yeah. At some point, like it did me, it's going to catch up with you what you did. The fact that you killed billions of people, and you did this for your father, which we get. He pulls you in, but at some point, you're the one that has to reconcile for yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What you believe and what you thought, and it's going to get you one day. And I don't want you to be like me and be lost in despair. And that's where he's at.
Mm.
It's like having such a paradox moment though, because on one hand he hates himself, but on the other hand he's so mad when people don't treat him like a hero, right? He's like, I'm a hero. Like, who are you trying to convince? Like, clearly yourself, right? And
he's jealous of his dad.
I was gonna say it has more to do with his father, jealousy,
but he's like seeing that his dad's not perfect and he's making these decisions and he's not always successful, but he's playing it off like he is. So he's kind of seeing the cracks.
Yeah, and he's like, these are your people, this is our capital, and you're just gonna leave them. And he's like, we're gonna go privately meet, right? Like,
yeah, his dad's not a very.
I know that was cold-blooded, wasn't it though?
Well, Marco's not a very smart
basically
narcissist.
Having sex with the blonde is more important than reconciling this.
I mean, Marco is a narcissist, but he's not a smart one, because if he's gonna have this henchman for a son or son for a henchman, you've got to learn how to massage him.
Yeah,
and he does everything but he rubs his nose in it all the time, and he's just setting up his own death.
He is.
When Marco was giving his little speech, didn't y'all have a little premonition of Prince? He looked just like Prince standing up there.
Prince. I thought that suit was purple.
I was rolling.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. That's what he looked
like. Today to get through this thing called life.
He had a little bit of a curl to his hair, and he was standing differently.
I just thought of Prince in that movie, Purple Rain. I thought, oh my God.
I got the impression he was drunk. he was acting in a different
He
way than he
acted like
does on
he
the
was
ship.
intoxicated,
Yeah,
didn't he?
he
Though
seemed
I mean,
just
whether it
drunk
was
or maybe a little more
really
loose,
or
less
just mentally,
inhibited.
but yeah.
Yeah.
No, I also think that like he doesn't know where to go from here. Like he's got his goal, he blew up everything, and it's like now you got to like put in the work to sustain it, and that's not his gig.
No,
He's a
it's not.
revolutionary. He's not.
He
a
wants to be
leader.
out there fighting. But I
Yeah.
also found it interesting when Christian, some conversation she was having, they are still lodging asteroids toward Earth. So it's
Yep.
they still bombarding them. And that's what the Rocinante is doing. They hunting all around trying to shoot these asteroids before they, hit Earth. But and I was thinking, okay, but you're blowing up these rocks, but those pieces are still got to go down.
Yeah.
Some of them are. Some of them.
Well,
No.
if you hit them far enough away from the planet, they might
It's
just
gonna
miss
just
it,
go that way,
at all.
yeah.
But what I liked about that is, revealing, kind of showing us what his strategy was to keep the fleet pinned down, right? So that the fleet couldn't come out to the ring, and they can do what they got a year and a half or two to do what they want in the ring, because it's going to take that long to build, another fleet or more ships. And
well, but they're doing something with that proto-molecule because at the end of season 5, when Holden was explaining to them, to Chrissy and everybody else, that they had the proto-molecule, and Naomi said, well, but it's going to end up just like Eyeless. And he says, well, unless they know something we don't know. See, so
that's the thing. So
whatever that proto-molecule is doing, and I think it's
Yeah.
doing something on that Laconia island.
Remember, there
or
was
planet.
a bunch of missiles that were going out, and the reporter was the one that realized one missile went somewhere else. It didn't
Somewhere
go to
else.
them. And they said, well, maybe they were using it. And then Avasarala or someone said, why would they keep a piece of the proto-molecule? And then there was a scene where Marcos was talking to that oh gosh, what's his name, the guy that Alex was trying to ask questions at the university when he was on Mars. He was telling him, hey, how did it go, what's happening? And they were talking to someone on a planet, but I don't remember if it was Laconia or not, saying, oh, we got the sample in, it's working well, we have our experiments are going fine.
I remember that now.
That same ship, the Barkeith, went through the gate, but it kind of like, it seemed like it exploded to me.
Oh, you mean at the end of the season last year?
Yeah.
Remember when
it was the ship going through with all that red was
remember how
filtering it out?
Told that girl to give him her bracelet because she was messing with it. He's like, look, if we're gonna be believing, we're gonna believe in our stuff and give me the bracelet. And she went to give it to him, and then they went through the gate or went through something, and it kind of looked like it exploded, but I don't know if it exploded because there weren't like pieces.
Well, it looked like they were consumed by fire.
Saw it was that orange wormy fire beast that killed the race that killed the proto-molecule. And what I loved about that is the Martians were going through the gate, and it's like, no, not you.
I know, that's what got
what it is. Okay,
that's what got me
confused.
Yeah, because you're right, they were going, other vehicles was going through that same gate, but when that particular ship went with that admiral on it or whoever, it consumed them.
And then there was a moment when Holden was showing Amos a video of that ship going through the ring, and he showed the orange streaks, and Amos got scared. Amos just kind of took a small step back because he saw, and I said, where'd Amos see it? Well, Amos saw that orange ring, that bomb or whatever inside the monolith on Illis when Holden was there. So they're keeping the fear of God in us, through that thing. So you think so? Because when I saw that ship kind of in orbit at the end of the first scene, that ship in orbit that's obviously kind of twisted via proto-molecule, that's that kind of a plan. That, in other words, humans are trying to control the proto-molecule again, or is that just a proto-molecule doing its thing? Because it sounds like everything you're saying is that it was a plan to put that thing in orbit around the planet and make some stuff happen. And I wasn't sure if that was what it was, or if it was just the proto-molecule doing
in my opinion, I think that Laconia being the planet number 2, think about that, number 2 in ring number, whatever, a specific ring. In my
Yeah.
opinion, I felt like that was on purpose, that was the proto-molecule being used. However that those scientists that said, oh yeah, everything's working fine. However, they have figured out how to manipulate that's the reason all that foliage and those little creatures and even the people were there.
Yeah, we're going to find out there were experimental planets. What was the name of the asteroid that they threw the proto-molecule on and it killed everyone?
I can't remember.
It's the one that Julie Mao became the consciousness of and moved.
Not Prometheus.
Ellis. It's ILUS.
No. Illis was where they went afterwards. It was Ganymede
Eros
was one.
Eros.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay.
Right. So I wouldn't be surprised if we find, like you said, they're documenting their progress through the different rings and different planets, and we're going to find all kinds of horror stories about settlers who their proto-molecule didn't work and bad things happened. Yeah.
I
just find it interesting that it's planet number 2. I mean, even in our solar system, we got
because they don't planets, know this is the first time they realize that there's other planets in these different areas, so they're having to number them out.
I think it was probably manipulated.
I just think that of course, Holden and our people, the people that we know from the show, know the proto-molecule is dangerous. Yeah, and that it takes a life of its own. You can't control it.
Right.
But the scientists are so excited about what they can do with it that they're unleashing something that they don't quite realize that they're unleashing. Yeah. So while it might form this earth and make plants and animals and stuff, it's also doing something else. And I feel like that's what they're gonna realize too late, that
they're not going to care about what we want. They're just going to eat us.
Right. Well, and
that beyond going to eat somebody. Right. That little thing. I already know
as that drone,
somebody.
Right. But as that drone went out, even beyond the foliage, it was the exact same topography as on Illis.
Yes.
Those big old arch things and everything. Yeah. But it was looked like miles away from where all the greenery was. So that's why I think they were trying to say to us that was manipulated on purpose.
I got to tell you,
where all the greenery is and stuff.
I mean, I've not read the book, so all the book readers are laughing at us right now. But
I've read
what I really hope they do is somehow have all of this be it's not so much a trap, but somehow sort of a Garden of Eden mythology where there's things that we're not supposed to consume, but when we do consume them, we become a viable fuel source for them or something. I mean, in other words, everything looks great and everything feels great until you're getting eaten or until you're being used by the proto-molecule to be something different. Because we still have no clue what all that means, and I hope by the end of the season they resolve that somewhat. But I got to tell you, I'm also kind of enjoying the tension. Right, all they got to do is show us a monolith, and be like, oh, all they got to do is show us some orange fire. And,
Yeah.
There was an old Twilight Zone episode where aliens, of course, this is back in the 70s, so they had them looking freaky. Visited Earth, and they cured all manner of disease and gave them this big, huge book that all the scientists and everybody was just so thrilled because it was gold, solid gold, and blah blah blah. Well, and long story short, it was a cookbook. As they're marching all the earthlings up to their it was a cookbook. Rod Serling, baby, Rod Serling. He was high as
ingredient number 1, 3,000 humans.
Yeah.
But there was space travel to their planet from humans, and everybody was just, astronauts was going, military people, they was just so excited. Finally, this one person was able to decipher that, and he was like a professor in like Egyptian hieroglyphics or something, so he was used to code and that kind of, and he deciphered that, and it was a cookbook.
There you go.
How to
You
cook
never
human,
know.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's a
Any
great
other
episode.
favorite lines, character scenes?
I like when Amos said to the crew, you think if I asked Chrissy to pay us some money for killing all these people, she would do it. It just cracks me up when he refers to her as Chrissy, like they got
Yes.
this really deep bond or something.
You know, that was my favorite quote until the end. I was like, I thought of you when he said that too. I'm like, I guarantee you're gonna love
I
that.
just busted out. I said, "Oh my gosh!" And they are so used to him saying that, the holding him better. I
Like, I like to see you try it.
I really liked the tone of that exchange too, because Holden pushes back like that's an absurd question or something, and Amos says, "No, I'm serious." Right? So there was a little more edge to it than usually when he uses the word Chrissy, right? And that was another way to add to our edge as we watched it. Yeah. Anyone else? Any other lines, scenes, characters?
I don't know. Did I just miss it? Has he always called her Chrissy, or was that the first time? Because it really caught me off
No, he
guard.
always
it
calls
last
her
season.
Chrissy.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I must not have like realized that's who he was talking about or something.
And
because
I
he
mean,
said
from
that,
the
and I
very first,
busted.
right, from the very first moment that they were even like he even mentioned her name, he has always called her that.
Man, I did not know that. It really did.
And
first
she's
time
the
I
one
was-
that said, and she said one time, he said, Chrissy something. She said, "Don't call me that." But she didn't do it like mean, like she does the army people that she really putting down. Just, don't call me that. You know,
That's
and
her
then she went on.
strength.
Yeah.
The way she can
But
deliver.
he continues to call her Chrissy, even to her face. Yeah.
And
He
the way
always
she
does.
can deliver an insult and still it just doesn't, it feels soft, but it feels thorny. She's just got
she
the
can cut
perfect
you.
pitch, the timing's perfect. And
she cuts them people with them those
totally.
things. So yeah.
Excellent.
She's good.
Okay, any other comments?
No, we didn't see enough of Bobby though. I don't think. I really like her character too.
Yeah, well,
I love that she and Christian are like back together just because I love the interplay that the two of them have. And I think watching her as a Martian working with this leader for the Earthers, and like I think it kind of shows how those two sides really are going to have to
work
admit
together.
they're both right and wrong. Like they're both sides that are right and wrong about a lot of things. And so I just really enjoy watching those interactions in terms of like the larger metaphor that it kind of plays for us. But I don't know. I just love the dialogue. I love the effects. I still think Holden might be one of the more boring characters, which I know you're not supposed to think that, but he is. But he looks good this season, so
yeah.
They had
Holden boring. I think they just,
they just have him be brooding too much. I think he's just like a brooding character, and
well, I think he's just always so righteous, at least on the outside, it looks like it. And I don't think he's trying to be. I think he's just so busy trying to help protect other people because he just has that mentality. Like if he was on Earth, he probably would be a firefighter or a doctor or something like that because he's always wanting to help fix someone or help someone. So I think that's just his way of trying to do that. But it comes off, and that's what in the first 2 seasons that everybody always said. Like even Fred would say it. You're always telling your truth, but you don't realize the consequences of doing that. You're the one stirring up.
I agree with that.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I also think, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, this conversation really, for me, fleshes out the tone that they were trying to bring out in the script. Everybody's unsettled with their identities. They're not sure who or where they are in their roles anymore. And I remember there's a scene where Amos says to Holden, "Look, I'm telling you, I'm trying not to abandon you. I don't want to. Don't abandon us." So what Amos is saying is go ahead and brood, but do it well. Okay. Yeah. Don't half-ass brood. Keep doing the old Holden stuff because that's what we need. I'm going to
Yeah.
do my bit, but dude, if you fall apart, then the context for me to do this isn't there. And everybody's struggling to help each other be who they were before. And,
that was an interesting line, though. Yeah.
I did like that. I think that
yeah,
it was a really good shout out to the fact that they are family. And I think it shows Amos's growth in terms of being able to articulate what I think he's always had in his head and kind of stop and say, like, we are here for you. Stop pushing. Like, you don't need to make this harder for all of us. I thought that was really intuitive. And I admittedly would, if you have asked me in the first season if we would have seen something like that out of Amos, I would have laughed.
I know.
So I just think that just shows wonderful growth.
I'm just hoping they allow Naomi that same growth. I hope they don't have her episode 3-4 still with this trying to take her guilt out on someone else without us having a conversation where she's either had a conversation with one of these people or even some bartender at wherever they dock next to get that out, because it's gonna get old quick.
Yeah, it really is Amos who's kind of become the local psychologist. I mean, he says to Naomi, cut Peaches a break like we did for you. Right?
Like we did for you.
So
See
he's
that?
just fleshing it out. And Holden didn't say that, right? It's Amos who's getting that stuff clear to everyone. Yo, you're all behaving differently and you depend on each other to be who you are. So get in it and do it. And otherwise, Peaches and I are out of here.
It's cut and dry. Even how he got her on the ship in the last season.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay, hold on, remember when you tried to kill me and you said you were gonna kill me? You know, he's like, and you got over it. We're fine. We're family now. So how do you feel about that? He's like, yeah, we're past that. He's like, okay, great. Peaches, come on.
Yeah.
You're good. That was it for him. He was like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we changed our relationship. You were going to kill me. I was going to kill you. We patched that up. Fine. She tried to kill you. Okay, now we're good. She's not going to try to kill you now.
Exactly. There's one line that Naomi says that I'm not sure it fit. And that's when she says to Amos, you decided to make her part of the crew as if that could replace Alex.
Yeah.
And I just felt that line was a little offbeat. I don't know why Naomi would attribute that motive to Amos. And either we're supposed, I don't know. I just felt the tone was a bit off on that.
And
I was really PO'd that she said that or that they had her saying that, because how dare you say that to him?
Right.
When he wasn't even there, number one.
Yeah.
And everybody else risked everything they had to come get you because you were too stupid to realize your abandoned 20-year-old son didn't want nothing to do with you. I mean, really?
So you think they put that line in there to sort of show you how off kilter she is at the moment?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's fine.
So.
Because that's the only way I can experience it and have it make sense.
I would have rather they have
that
her
guilt
say,
is getting her though.
I would rather her have said she tried to kill me and Holden. Like she tried to blow us all up.
Right.
And then she whooped Naomi's butt in that one. You know, they came to blow. I mean, she would have killed her if what's her name? Anna hadn't come up. So I would have rather her said that, but it was weird to me that she said the Alex, but I think you're right. It was on purpose to show.
I think so.
She has so much guilt over Alex that she's putting that on everybody else.
Everybody else.
That's the reason for everything is Alex.
Because you have reminded me, Sistah Kay, you are certainly correct. She had every reason, or she has other reasons to not like Clarissa. Right. Or not want her there, or not want to be in her presence. But no, she said was about Alex, and it pissed me off. I was really mad. I was really mad.
I'm not so angry with it because I think it's showing like something that a real person would go through.
And a real person like me would be mad about that too.
Because you're so perfect, Jay.
No, it's not bad.
Right.
Well, people
She
don't
can't
always
talk like that about my
do
favorite guy.
the right thing, and they're not going to
I
say the
know.
right thing, and they're not going to even know that their emotions are making them do stuff.
Right.
That doesn't make no
She
sense.
doesn't realize it.
Doesn't
And
even
I do
realize
understand that she doesn't realize it. And once somebody, whether it's Holden or but somebody's going to sit her down in one of these episodes and tell her, okay, look, this has gone on enough, and this is what you're saying, this is what you're doing.
If they can stop fighting long enough, not amongst themselves, but among the
I think they
people
will,
they're fighting
because
with, yeah.
they looking for this spottership now. So
yeah,
at
They
least
gonna
by
have
episode
time.
3, they're going to have to find a spottership. They can't drag that out all season.
Oh, no.
And
it's got a
actually-
cool name though. The Azure Dragon is just
Yeah.
I
totally
know,
cool.
isn't that
So
good? But I think
Totally cool.
I think Bobby's going to be up in the ship, and she's going to go and help look. Because-
Avasarla's
yeah.
gonna send her back
Yeah.
over because
Yeah,
she told her you
because-
hate this job, so she's
Yeah.
gonna send her to do
She's going to send her.
yeah
Mhm.
to help.
I think so too.
I'm sure. I'm ready for it because I like them all together.
Well,
Yeah.
I like Bobby in her little spacesuit too. I like that because that is just no, really. I love that.
That's her
that
home.
armor.
Yes, that's her
Yes.
home. And they did a good job
Yes.
of having her show how uncomfortable she is trying to
Exactly.
do this administrative task, this
Diplomatic
job.
stuff.
Yeah,
No,
she's
it's not my
not down
gig.
for the diplomatic.
Yeah, she needs
Not
to be
my
out
gig.
there because when she rescued Naomi like that with her little spacesuit,
Oh,
yeah, that's
Yeah.
her armor. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Armor
Yeah, we're going to
from-
see a certain life come
Yeah.
back to her character when she's out there doing all that stuff.
I think so too. All righty.
Okay, then. Well, that about wraps it up for tonight's episode. Thanks so much to our viewers for tuning in. The Expanse Crew members, please tell the audience where they can find you on social media, and we'll start with Sistah Kay.
Facebook.com/Sistah Speak Podcast, SistahSpeakProductions.com. We're on Patreon as well, YouTube. Just put in Sistah Speak and you'll find us.
Fantastic. And how about you, Leandra?
You can find me on Twitter at Paris Leandra, at Parris Leandra, and that's pretty much it because I don't get on social media that much.
Fantastic. And how about you, Sistah Jay?
What Sistah Kay said.
With a J, if I remember from
With the same
Wow.
same thing. Yeah.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at dark_loops. You can find all episodes of the Expanse Crew at the Dark Loops Productions channel on YouTube. If you want to leave feedback about this podcast, please do so on this YouTube page or send a message to darkloopsproductions@gmail.com. And we'll be sure to read it at the end of our next episode. So there it is, from all of us to all of you. Big hugs, and please tune in next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.